Batman Arkham Origins is being left out of the Arkham franchise, again. Recently it was announced that the Arkham games are gonna come for Nintendo Switch as well, which is great news for those Nintendo only players since it's gonna be the first time they'll be able to experience the Arkham games. However, Batman Arkham Origins isn't there. They call it the Arkham Trilogy and it only contains Asylum, City, and Knight, and that is the same thing they did for the latest consoles for PlayStation and Xbox as well. There are two possible reasons why they're not including Origins in the package, and the first is the fact that it wasn't Rocksteady that did it. It was WB Montreal, so it's a different company. But honestly, if they really wanted to put the game in the package, I don't think that would be enough excuse. And the second reason would be the criticism that the game got. There are two main criticisms towards the game that made a lot of people hate it or dislike it or just leave it aside, and that actually helps leave the game out of the franchise when they try to remaster or launch a package, because that criticism really hit heavy, even though I think it's very unfair to the game. The first big criticism is the fact that a lot of people think that the game doesn't really add anything new to the franchise, or that it's just too similar to Arkham City and feels just like a DLC than an actual game. That is already kind of ridiculous to me, because criticizing the game for being too similar to Arkham City, which is a game that won as Game of the Year when it was launched, plus it is considered to be the best Arkham game in the franchise for many people, I really believe that if Arkham Origins is close to it, then you can say it's close to the best that the Arkham series has to offer. So how can you complain that the game is bad? But what really makes me mad is that the game actually brings new things and they improve upon the experience we had in Arkham City and Asylum, but it's just ignored by most. This is by far the best Arkham game when we talk about boss fights. The boss fight that you have against Deathstroke is arguably the best boss fight in the entire franchise. No other Batman game has a similar combat like this in a boss fight, not even Arkham Knight that came after Origins. The experience you have against Bane is epic, and I gotta mention it because you fight against him 3 times. And since he's one of the main Batman villains, it makes sense for you to have to battle him over and over and over. And the best thing is that all the fights are amazing and somewhat different from the fights that you had before. Even the ones that you have against less known enemies like Copperhead are just epic. If you've played all the Batman Arkham games, especially Asylum and City that came before Origins, you can clearly see that there's a big improvement regarding the fights you have against the bosses. It's also the only Batman Arkham game that has a Batcave that you can go to and that you can explore. You have a small one in Asylum inside the Arkham Asylum, but it's nothing compared to the Batcave that we got in Arkham Origins. It's much bigger here, you can train there, you have access to the Batwing, to the Batcomputer, you have your workbenches where you get gadgets sometimes, and you even have access to Alfred. This is another point I gotta mention because this is the only game where you can actually interact with Alfred. How can someone say that it doesn't add anything to the series? There are more improvements and things that Batman Arkham Origins added to the franchise, but I'm not going to be covering every detail here. I intend to do that in a different video, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell to receive this future video and more content like this. And also please leave me a thumbs up to support my work here if you're enjoying this video. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. The other big criticism that the game gets is because the Joker is in there. That was really bad for the game because he was the main villain in Arkham Asylum and one of the main villains in Arkham City, so people were saturated of the Joker and wanted to see other villains in Batman Arkham Origins. It was supposed to be Black Mask, the main villain, the one who was setting up the assassins to go after Batman, but in the end it was revealed that it was Joker all along. That really disappointed a lot of people, and honestly I have to include myself because I really wanted that game to not have the Joker. I think it would be a lot better if we had Black Mask behind everything, but you cannot deny that the way they portrayed Joker was very good. This game explains Joker to us much better than any other Batman Arkham game. The only one that can compare is Arkham Knight because we get to see what the Joker is really afraid of, but in Arkham Origins we kinda got a glimpse of that already. It shows that he's very afraid of being alone, that he hates the fact that everybody ignores him, and this is exactly why he loves Batman so much, because he's always there when the Joker is trying to do something. He feels like he has someone that he can relate to. He's so impressed with the way Batman saves him for the first time, and after that is when the Joker actually starts to be the Joker. That's when he starts to create plans for Batman because he discovered that Batman is his reason for living. He can do a bunch of plans and Batman is always going to be there to stop him, but it's never going to kill him, so he can keep that going for as long as he lives. This way, he'll never be ignored or alone anymore. It also shows how the Joker was able to seduce Harley Quinzel into becoming Harley Quinn. I know that a lot of people didn't want to see Joker, and I'm included here, but the Arkham Origins story gives us an insight of Joker that many of Batman's media don't. If you just look at Batman Arkham Origins without thinking about Asylum City, you'll see that that game is close to perfect, because that big problem of having the Joker again wouldn't really be a problem here. And considering the fact of how well the story goes, especially with how much it tells us about the Joker, it would definitely be one of, if not the best Batman game ever. I know you cannot disconsider the fact that it came after Asylum City, because when you were playing the games, it was heavily influenced by the experience that you had before, but you cannot disconsider that the Joker appearance was very good, even though you didn't want him to be there. With all that said, I think it's very unfair to the game that it's not in the package alongside the other 3 games whenever they want to remaster the game and launch it for a new console or for the newest generation of consoles. Always leaving out Arkham Origins feels very unfair to me, and I really miss the game and not being able to play it on those platforms. And I want to know what you think about it. Do you think that Arkham Origins deserve to be with the other 3 games in the package too? Do you really think that it doesn't really matter because the other games are much better and that it doesn't really add much to the series? You can have your opinion. I used my arguments in this video. I want you to use yours in the comment section. Tell me what you think, tell me what you believe, and discuss with me because I love doing those discussions with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.